The old ex-girlfriend.
What's it been, like 3, 4 years?
8 years, 7 months and 6 days, give or take.
You made these Thor movies with Chris. He's the one in the costume with the hammer being the superhero. Now you're coming back, both Natalie and Jane. Was that kind of fun for you to embrace? Like, oh, we're both experiencing this very strange transition.
Yeah, it was incredible to come back and also, yes, have all of that kind of familiarity and newness of the situation mirror the characters also experience, and also to reunite with Chris, to reunite with Tessa, even though we hadn't worked on MCU films together, but to have worked together before was pretty wonderful to come on set already with kind of like a feeling of friendship.
The opportunity to work with Natalie was a huge thing for me. I've been a big fan of hers for many years and admired her work. And then to bring back that character from the Jason Aaron run, the Mighty Thor, which is a fantastic story, fantastic comic book. And right from the outset, we were like, we've got to find a way to make this part of Thor's movie.
Times like this, we need to unite, come together. I'm sorry, Meek, it's very hard to get a rousing speech with the noise.
Oh God, we're gonna die.
Taika has such a distinct style and his sense of humor, but then there's these poignant moments. Having established Jane in previous films with different directors, was that kind of interesting to reset and be like, okay, I'm doing Jane again, but Taika style?
It was so great to get to experience his way of working. It's just so free and so spontaneous, and he really insists on it all the time. And it's really incredible to have that kind of demand on you all the time in a very like safe, friendly environment too, but that you just kind of throw out what your plan is and just go with like your gut at every moment.
Were people pointing out these comics to you and being like, hey, in the comics, Jane becomes the Mighty Thor, and did you ever entertain, oh, maybe we could do that in a movie, or was it a surprise to you when it actually came up?
People started bringing it up to me in interviews like this, when I was doing interviews on other films after the comics came out, because I think it was 2014 or something that they initially came out. So I was like, oh, that's interesting, but it didn't ever come to fruition, of course, until Taika came over to my house and like handed it to me and was like, what do you think about doing this? And of course, after seeing what he did with Ragnarok, I was completely excited and intrigued at the idea.
Mjolnir.
He reclaimed his title as the one and only Thor. Oh, spoke too soon.
There's some fun stuff in this movie about Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and maybe some competition there. If you were given the choice between one or the other, which would you choose?
I think probably Mjolnir, because the axe is so big and it's a big thing to carry around. And hammer's classic.
Yeah, and just more
especially
practical.
the hammer now with what it can do is also cool.
You do give it a few new tricks.
I have to go for Mjolnir because definitely serves the Mighty Thor very, very well in this film.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Plus, it's more practical.
Yes. more experienced weapon.
Yeah.
There's a maniac who seeks to end us all. I'm putting together the greatest team ever.
Are you packed?
Yes.
We are obviously in this time when MCU is bigger than ever, and there's these Disney Plus shows. You are a very busy man who is doing a lot of different projects, and you're doing these Thor movies. Do you have any interest in expanding that out? Is there ever whether it be like a Valkyrie series or just any maybe a character you haven't dealt with at all? Do you think about, is there other things you want to do in this world?
Sometimes, but I've got all these other things I'm really concentrating on right now, and so don't often get I haven't had much opportunity to really like think about all the other characters or what. Yeah, I'd love to see a Valkyrie spin-off. I think that would be cool. Korg spin-off would be good as well.
People were so excited to see you back in the MCU with this. There's been on the Obi-Wan show, you had a lot of your old prequel buddies appearing in different capacities. Would you ever entertain going back to Star Wars if in some crazy way they thought of how to do it?
I think anything is possible, but I mean, no, there's nothing no one's talked to me about anything. I have not heard from them at all. So I have nothing to report.